In most of human history, the growth rate of the world population was extremely slow. In the early 19th century, there were only 1 billion people in the world, and the global population did not reach 2 billion until the 1920s. However, in the mid-20th century, due to advances in medicine and increased agricultural production, the world population experienced explosive growth. According to United Nations data, the global population has grown by over 5 billion in the past 70 years, and it is projected to increase by another 2 billion in the next 30 years, reaching over 10 billion by 2050. However, the population sizes of countries around the world are not equal, with nearly half of the world's population coming from just 10 countries. Today, in Terry Travel, let's take a look at the top 10 countries with the highest population, and the knowledge behind the populations of these countries. Mexico, located in North America, has a land area of 1.8 million square kilometers and is composed of 32 different states. Its population is about 128 million, surpassing Japan in 2018 to become the world's 10th largest population country. Mexico is the birthplace of American civilizations, such as the Mayan civilization and the Aztec civilization, which both emerged from this land. The former had an astonishing astronomical knowledge, while the latter was once the largest country in North America during the Middle Ages. In the early 16th century, the Aztec Empire was invaded by Spain, and Mexico became a Spanish colony for the following 300 years before gaining independence in 1810. Mexico is the second largest population country in Latin America, with a slightly higher female population. There is a significant difference in population density among states, with the three major cities of Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey having the most population. 30% of the population are descendants of indigenous people. 60% are of mixed Indo-European ancestry, and the remaining 10% are of European descent. Over 90% of the population is Catholic, making it the second largest Catholic population country in the world after Brazil. It is also the country with the most Spanish-speaking population in the world. As the birthplace of American civilizations, Mexico has rich cultural and historical heritage, with the largest number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Americas. It attracts history enthusiasts from all over the world throughout the year, ranking 7th in the world in terms of the number of international visitors and being a famous tourist destination in Central America. Russia, which occupies 1/8 of the world's land area, is the largest country in the world and the 9th largest in terms of population, with a population of approximately 146 million. 80% of the population of the 180 ethnic groups in the country are Russians, with Russian as the official language. About half of the country's population believes in Eastern Orthodox Christianity, while the rest are mainly Muslims and Buddhists. As many as 20 million people are Muslims, accounting for 15% of the country's population, making Islam the second largest religion in Russia. Since the mid-17th century, Tsarist Russia has been the largest country in the world in terms of land area. Although vast, only 15% of Russia's land is suitable for human habitation, with the rest covered by permafrost, swamps, forests, and rivers and lakes. More than 70% of Russians choose to live in the more developed Eastern European region, with an average population density of about 27.5 people per square kilometer, while in Asian areas, it is less than 3 people per square kilometer. Most of the Russian territory, located at high latitudes, is cold, and to withstand the cold, the local food culture mainly consists of high-calorie diets and high-concentration alcohol. Although known as a warrior nation, the average life expectancy of Russian men is only 67.5 years, the lowest in Europe. The average life expectancy of men and women differs by as much as 10 years, and the male population in Russia accounts for only 46%, with women outnumbering men by 6 million. The country's population is also shrinking at a rate of 700,000 people per year, making it one of the few high-population countries with a declining population year by year. Bangladesh is located in South Asia, with a land area of only 147,000 square kilometers, but a population of 166 million, averaging 1,138 people per square kilometer, making it the most densely populated non-city state country. As early as the beginning of the 16th century, Bangladesh was already the most densely populated region in South Asia. It was ruled by the Mughal Empire in the 17th century, and then became a part of British India in the mid-18th century. After the partition of India and Pakistan, it was called East Pakistan and became independent in 1971. Today, the total population of Bangladesh has increased nearly fourfold in the past 70 years. The people are relatively unified in terms of religion and language, with nearly 98% of the population speaking Bengali as their mother tongue and practicing Islam as their faith. More than 80% of the population are Muslims, making Bangladesh the fourth largest Muslim-populated country. However, Bangladesh has been unable to keep up with the pace of population growth in terms of economic development. The domestic transportation, medical, and industrial development lag behind, and traffic congestion, three-wheeled taxis, and crowded pedestrians are common in large cities such as Dhaka and Chittagong. As most of Bangladesh is located in the plains, it is plagued by floods every year, under the dual impact of economic backwardness and environmental disasters. Half of the population live below the poverty line, with as many as one-third living in extreme poverty. On average, 4,109 people share one hospital bed, making it a country where population and development are not proportional. Nigeria is located in West Africa and is the most populous country in Africa and the seventh most populous country in the world. It has a land area of 923,000 square kilometers and a population of approximately 210 million, making it the most populous black country in the world and the largest economy in Africa. Human activities have been recorded in Nigeria since 9100 BC. In modern times, it was invaded by Portugal, the Netherlands, France, and Britain, and gained independence in 1960. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, with the Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo tribes comprising the majority of the population. They speak their own native languages and use English as the official language. The southern people of Nigeria are mainly Christians, while the northern people are predominantly Muslim, with both religions accounting for half of the total population. Due to clear religious and regional divisions, Islamic law is used as a local legal system in some northern regions. Nigeria has experienced military dictatorship and civil war in the past few decades, but the birth rate remains high, and the population continues to grow rapidly, with a fertility rate of 5.5 children per woman. The population was only 38 million in 1950, but it has increased more than fivefold in just 70 years. It is expected that by 2050, Nigeria's population will double again, and the number of people may reach the top 3 in the world. Brazil is the largest country in Latin America, located in eastern South America, bordering up to 10 countries. Its land area is 8.51 million square kilometers, consisting of 26 states and 1 federal district. As of 2021, Brazil's population is about 213 million, ranking 6th in the world. White and mixed-race people account for 40% of the total population, while the remaining population is mainly composed of Black, Asian, and indigenous peoples. Due to the Amazon rainforest covering much of the northern inland region, almost 40% of the population lives along the Atlantic coast, where the 2 largest cities, Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, are located, making it the most densely populated area in Brazil. As Brazil was a former colony of Portugal, Portuguese is the official language, and 65% of the population is Catholic, making it the country with the largest Catholic population in the world. In terms of the national economy, thanks to abundant natural resources and sufficient labor, Brazil has the highest gross domestic product in the southern hemisphere, with the service sector accounting for 60% of GDP. Brazil has developed agriculture, finance, and industry, making it the strongest economic power in Latin America. Pakistan is located in South Asia, with a land area of 880,000 square kilometers. It shares borders with India and Iran to the east and west, respectively, and is connected to China and Afghanistan to the northeast and northwest, respectively, with the vast Indian Ocean to the south. Pakistan has a population of approximately 225 million, with an average of 236 people per square kilometer, making it the fifth most populous country in the world. Over 60% of the population is Punjabi, while the rest is composed of Sindhis, Pashtuns, and other ethnic minorities. Despite their different ethnicities, over 95% of Pakistanis are Muslim, making it the second largest Muslim population in the world. Urdu is the mother tongue, and English is the official language. Similar to Bangladesh, Pakistan was originally part of British India and declared independence after the partition of India in 1947, while Bangladesh became independent from Pakistan in 1971. Pakistan has the highest urbanization rate in South Asia, with 36% of its population living in cities. It is also a relatively young country, with a median age of only 20 years old, and half of its population is under 30 years old. In the past 70 years, Pakistan's population has grown by a staggering 7 times, and it is projected to surpass Indonesia and become the most populous Muslim country by 2030. Indonesia is the largest country in Southeast Asia, with a land area of 1.91 million square kilometers consisting of 17,506 islands, spanning Asia and Oceania, and is renowned as the Land of Thousand Islands. Its population is approximately 270 million, making it the fourth most populous country in the world. Due to the numerous islands, there are hundreds of different ethnic groups and languages, with Javanese being the largest ethnic group and holding a dominant position in politics and culture. The island of Java, where 60% of the population resides, is the world's most populous island. The official language is Indonesian, but Javanese is the most widely spoken dialect in Indonesia. Additionally, Indonesia's constitution guarantees religious freedom, with 6 government-recognized religions including Islam, Christianity, Catholicism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. Strictly speaking, Indonesia is not an Islamic country, but it has the world's largest Muslim population, with 86% of the population being Muslim, 9% Christian, and less than 5% following the other 4 religions. Urbanization in Indonesia has reached 44%, with an annual urban population growth rate of around 1.7%. The Greater Jakarta metropolitan area has a population of over 28 million and is home to various government agencies, embassies, and foreign offices, serving as Indonesia's capital and largest city as well as a cultural and commercial center. The United States, the only superpower in the world today, has a history of 246 years since its independence. Its land area is 9.37 million square kilometers, making it the most populous developed country in the world, and the country with the most diverse ethnic and cultural backgrounds. The United States is composed of 50 states and 1 administrative district, with the vast majority of its territory located in North America. Its population is approximately 330 million, ranking 3rd in the world, and is also currently the largest English-speaking country. White Americans account for 73% of the population. African Americans make up 12%, while the rest of the population consists of local indigenous peoples and immigrants from different countries, with Chinese and Indian Americans being the largest Asian groups. The United States has a very high economic and income level, and nearly 80% of its population lives in cities, with more than half of the population concentrated in 37 major cities. California, located in the West, is the most populous state in the United States, with a population of 37 million, and is also a major hub for technology. The state with the smallest population is Wyoming in the central region, with only 564,000 people. due to significant racial differences. The United States is the first country in the world to legally guarantee religious freedom, and about half of Americans are Christians, with 25% of the population being Catholics. Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, and other religions also have a significant number of adherents. In addition, although the United States is a true English-speaking country, it does not have an official language, and besides English, languages such as Spanish, Chinese, French, and German have populations of over 1 million speakers. India is located in South Asia and covers an area of 3.16 million square kilometers, occupying most of the South Asian subcontinent. It is the second largest country in Asia and has a population of approximately 1.39 billion, making it the world's second most populous country and the fifth largest economy. India is not a country with a single ethnicity, and the Indian population can be divided into many ethnic groups, each with its own language and script. There are 22 languages recognized by the Indian Constitution. The main ethnic group in India is the Indo-Aryan, which accounts for half of the total population. Hindi and English are the official languages, and English is even more prominent than Hindi in some parts of southern India. India is also a multi-religious country with a reputation for its religious diversity. 80% of the population practices Hinduism, while there are also over 180 million Muslims, making India the country with the largest Muslim population outside of Islamic countries. Despite having a large workforce, India still struggles with a significant wealth gap and prejudice within the caste system. India is one of the countries with the highest income inequality in the world, and over 70% of the population lives in rural areas, where slums can also be found in urban areas. India has a rigid caste system, and marriages between different castes are prohibited. Social status and identity are also hereditary, with economic disparities between castes creating a heavy burden for racial equality and economic development in India. China, with a land area of 9.6 million square kilometers, is a multi-ethnic country mainly composed of the Han ethnic group, occupying most of East Asia and being the largest country in Asia. Historically, the Chinese population has always accounted for a large proportion of the world's population. In the first half of the 19th century, during the Qing dynasty, China already accounted for 1/3 of the world's population. As of 2021, the population of China is about 1.412 billion, accounting for 18% of the world's total population and making it the world's most populous country. Among the ethnic groups, the Han people account for 91% of the total population, making it the world's largest ethnic group, while the rest are composed of 55 minority groups. Mandarin is the official language and is also the most widely spoken language in the world. Although China has a vast territory, the population distribution is not evenly distributed. Over 94% of the Chinese population lives on 43% of the land, with most of the population concentrated in the southeastern coastal areas. The inland regions, mainly Xinjiang, Tibet, and Inner Mongolia, have a relatively sparse population. Due to the economic differences in different regions of China and the developed domestic transportation network, many rural labor forces go to coastal cities to find job opportunities, making China have the world's largest migrant population. Based on the government's family planning policy implemented in the late 20th century, China is a developing country that entered an aging society relatively early. In 2020, the proportion of the population aged 65 and above reached 13.5%, making it the country with the largest elderly population in the world. Alright, that's all for this episode. Please like, comment, share, and follow. We hope you enjoyed the knowledge presented in this episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.